Environmental degradation in the Niger Delta region is a widely known problem. Sadly, it has not received much attention from the government and oil companies who engage in exploitation of hydrocarbon resources with little or no regard for the environment or for the people. The widespread incident of dead fish washing ashore along the Atlantic coastline has puzzled a lot of people who are beginning to wonder what the cause of the deaths could be. Although the cause of the death is yet to be ascertained, everyone agrees that certainly it can be attributed to environmental degradation. Upon learning of the incidents of the dead fish on the shores and waterways of different states and communities across the Niger Delta, we made a visit to the FINIMA fishing settlement in Bonny local government area of Rivers State to find out more about the reality as well as the immediate and remote causes, impact and possible remedy to the problem. It was discovered that most of the dead fish was a species of croaker fish, popularly known as brook marriage. The dead fish littered the shorelines from Lighthouse all the way to Ifoko on the boundary between Bonny and Andoni local government area of Rivers State. The fish were washed by waves from the sea to the shoreline. Some members of the fishing community expressed their surprise at seeing so many dead fish washing from the sea. They also disclosed that the incident has threatened their health and impacted their livelihood by dramatically reducing their businesses as they cannot eat or sell the dead fish.
What I discovered from the fish, you discover that whenever you bring the fish fresh, before you wanted to work on the fish, most of the fish will spoil. And if you look at the nyash of the fish, there are some colors that will first of all come up. Then from there, the fish will begin to get rotten. So if you do not do the fish quickly, before you know, all of the fish will just spoil. So that is another danger that we see from the fish, that we are having the fear of eating the fish.
Since then, since the thing started happening, we can't make sales again like as before. We don't sell because many of them, when they see the fish, they will say it's that same fish, because we don't know if that fish now will affect us. Although some people have eaten it, but since they discovered that it's not something that just died for a day, so they stopped. Nobody, even the ones I bought here, is inside my house. I could not sell it. So I'm planning to throw it away. But some set of people came here the other day to carry the fish along to lab to see if it will affect us. So I'm still waiting for them. When I hear this thing, if it will not affect us tomorrow in future, then I can start make use of it.
Nobody knows how the fish, all these fish take time.
Okay.
So we only just take it as a manner to us, because every day that we are going out, we pick it and we go back home.
Whenever you keep the fish inside the boat, at a point it will just rot in. Within, let's say, 30 minutes time, the fish will just rot in. So, but actually yesterday we went out, and the greatest surprise, we also picked the ones that was like, they were like shaking body. You know, the fish were swimming. So we got those ones too also. So I was totally confused, and I don't know. And we heard many information here and there that this fish we are picking in Oron side, and this fish we are picking in Andoni side. This fish too we are picking in Bayelsa side too. So we now begin to afraid, because we don't know the actual thing that is killing this fish. We also get information that is dredger, those people that is working in the offshore.
The community and youth leader also disclosed measures they have put in place to curtail the consumption and sale of the dead fish.
We quickly got all the heads of our fishing settlements to go around with tank criers, inform people not to pick up those fishes, and we don't want it to be sold. We also informed the market committees to announce within the markets in FINIMA and Agaja that nobody should buy that specific. There is a specific one type of fish, the broken marriage. Within that period, people shouldn't buy it. Some of the evidence we saw that some people have dried it, and we have been monitoring with the committee and looking after the market to make sure that we don't see any broken marriage, dried one in the market.
Much as we are orienting our people not to eat this fish, but that is not really working. That is not, especially locals around this area, because they see fishing as a source of their livelihood. And now, instead of they going into the sea to catch, the fish is now coming shore. So scientifically, It's not right. Something is definitely wrong. That's why we're advising people not to consume this fish. If after, like, we took some samples which are under analysis as I speak, if the samples prove that nothing is wrong, as in the chemical component of the fish is still the same naturally, then we can say, okay, consume. Maybe it's an act of God or act of nature. But for now, because we've not even discovered why this thing is happening, it's not good to consume it. I would never advise anybody to consume it at all.
Considering the situation, it will be difficult for us to convince them, but of course, all we need to do is to try our best to make them understand that the cause of the death of the fish is not yet known. So we provided a palliative to support our people, knowing that we have this lockdown because of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, and of course, globally.
Director HOMEF Nimo Basi called on relevant government agencies to carry out forensic investigation into the cause of the death.
By now, our health ministries and the Ministry of Environment should have raised an alarm, should have done research and told us what has really happened. But we're not seeing that as at this moment. We're not even hearing anything from the National Oil Spills Detection and Response Agency. And of course, the oil companies are all denying that this disaster is coming from any of their facilities. It could well be that this could be from a natural phenomenon. It could be ocean acidification due to climate change. It could be due to anything, but we need to know what is killing the fish. Otherwise, innocent citizens are going to eat the fish. Some may sell the fish. We're already hearing stories of that nature. And the health implication is massive. We can't afford having our fishes die litter the coastline, and then nobody's telling us what is happening. In this era of pandemic, this is an unnecessary exposure of our people to danger. We can't accept it.
The dead fish were reported from Delta and Bayelsa state axis from February 2020, but the problem began at about the last week of March 2020 in Bonny Island. It took the fishers by surprise. Some of them harvested the dead fish in large quantities, filling up their fishing baskets and boats. Some were reportedly used for domestic consumption, while others were sold to their customers. Reports confirm that several communities along the Atlantic shorelines across the area, referred to as the Gulf of Guinea, were affected. These include Ondo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Akwa IBOM states in Nigeria. The fisher folks further disclosed that the smell from the dead fish was scaring away living fish, thus depriving them of their daily catches. Everyone spoken to demand that the government investigate and inform the people of the root cause of the deaths. Reports reaching us have it that NOSRA has commenced collection of samples in the Akasa area of Bayelsa State for testing. The people demand an answer now.